In this video, we're going to be talking about the 1972 Italian film, The Seduction of Mimi, which stars Giancarlo Giannini and directed by Lina Wertmuller. I got that right.
You did.
We are Coffee with Aliens at the Movies, a film education and film review channel. My name is Robert Bellissimo. I'm an actor and acting teacher.
I'm Steve Chambers. I'm a writer and actor.
And if this is your first time here, or if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to our channel and becoming an alien and coming and having coffee with us by clicking on the red subscribe icon in the bottom right of your screen. Okay, so this is your pick today, Steve, for an Italian classic film. So why The Seduction of Mimi?
I'll tell you what happened. It's a comedy, and I loved it. Like, I loved it. It's one of the rare things where, as I watched it, it wasn't even after I went, oh, that's good. As I watched it, I'm like, this is I love it. It's just insanity. So what it's about, plot wise, it's we got like a day laborer, a worker in Sicily, works for a union, which is we quickly realize is run by the mafia, and it's time to vote for our this is right off the top, for our union head, and it just goes without saying, you vote for the guy, you vote for the mob guy, you do what's correct. If you know what's good for you, you want to keep working. He goes socialist. He votes for sort of the socialist, not the, and we're saying in this film too, as did The Sopranos, that the mafia is it's a capitalist, and it is a function. And he goes against that, so he gets in trouble with the mob. In order to avoid further trouble, he leaves his family behind in Sicily and goes to Turin. Am I saying Turin? To start sort of, not a new life. Like, he's still in touch with his wife back home, and starts new work, but quickly falls for a girl who happens to be a Trotskyist, which is an extreme, type of socialist, and falls for her, and kind of begins. So the adventure begins. There's so much to say. And what I immediately think it's about is clearly the director, Lina Wertmuller. She is a very political director, and actually is the first female, check this out, first female director to ever get nominated for an Oscar, and not until 1977 for the
I read that,
And she's worked with this film stars Giancarlo Giannini, and I think it's Mariangela Malato, who's amazing. It's about this guy, Carmelo Mimi, who, as I said, the plot, but really he keeps falling into these political organizations, but really not out of any pure intent. Like, really, he gets involved in Trotskyism because he thinks the woman's good looking. But really what it's about, it's just this, to me, it's this selfish guy who just wants to get what he wants. He just wants to get by. He has no real political care. He's, self-centered, not even self-centered. He's just a guy. He's a guy. And it's told through his sort of frustration. You feel his frustration through the filmmaking, I felt. Like, just this, it's comical because it's not you, but watching it is hysterical.
And I'm glad you picked it, because I hadn't heard of it when you had said The Seduction of Mimi. And I knew the director, Lina Wertmuller, for Seven Beauties was the only movie of hers I've heard of. And I haven't even seen that. And I'm sorry to say I haven't seen any of her movies. And Giancarlo Giannini was a guy, another Italian actor I'd always heard of, but I would always hear that he dubbed all the great 70s films. The Italian, Pacino, Nicholson. Apparently Kubrick even complimented him on his dubbing of Nicholson in The Shining. Like he did. He was like a master dubber, but I hadn't seen any of his movies. So I thought, okay. So when I watched it, I'll admit at first, I wasn't enjoying it at first, because I wasn't quite putting together the satire and this union organizing, because I thought, why is that funny? Why is she making it satirical that that these people are being exploited by the mob and the government? But then as it continued, I realized that it was more. It's much that's definitely a part of it, but it's much more about this guy's hypocrisy and his ignorance and
100%.
His self-absorption,
That's all it's about.
yeah, it's really about him and how he, I mean, you can make that very serious. I mean, he is ultimately corrupted, right? Out of necessity.
Yeah.
It's so hard to put together. But there's that great scene where, because then he goes to jail after the soldier gets killed. The mob makes everyone thinks he did it. And as he comes out, all those, because now he has his child and he has his wife's child, which was the soldier's son. And then he has the soldier's 5 kids that he already had, plus the new one that he had with his one. Like, it's so anyway,
affair,
all that to say that he's responsible now for like 7 kids. And when they all come running at him and he turns around, he tries to get back into the jail.
Yeah.
I love that, and then that's ultimately why he's like, okay, well, I guess I got to go work for the mob now because I have to, make all this money. And then in the end, you see everyone turns
that's what he's doing.
his back on him.
Well, exactly.
And he's all alone.
Ironically, that's what he's doing at the very end. It's what started this film off. Is guys are telling him at his union, you got to vote for the mob guy. He doesn't.
Yeah.
At the very end, that's what he's doing, working for the mob, soliciting votes for the mob guy. Because
exactly.
It's full circle.
It goes full circle. Yeah.
And he did it all to himself. But this guy is ultimately he's in it for himself and wants to get ahead of the rat race. And that's what this whole thing is. But he's doing it through entering these socialist parties, but really just in an opportunistic kind of way, or to meet women, or to get the better job. So it's just, really, he falls on his own, trips on his own feet over and over again.
She's not only, making it satirical, everything from, I love the way she handled letting the audience know that not only is there the mob, which is of course corrupt, but so was the government and so is the police. Because every time you saw a person of authority, police, army, whatever it was, they all had those same beauty marks on their face, right?
Yes,
so it's like they're all related.
Yes.
And I love how it would just zoom right in on their face and then it would zoom in on Giannini noticing that. Yeah. But I think she was also commenting on the fact that these people didn't know what to think for themselves. You even saw his parents were like, you got to vote for the mob guy at the beginning. And it's because that's what people are telling them what to do. It's like with religion. People believe certain religions most of the time because from childhood that's what they were taught, and then they grow up to not question it. So that's why the guy was so sort of was such a buffoon in a lot of ways. And I thought Giannini it really has to be a totally committed performance, just playing it straight. And because he has a natural kind of comedic buffoonery about him. But at the same time, like when he finds out that his wife is pregnant by another man, like I thought he was going to kill his wife. Like he was like in a violent rage. And even the scene where he didn't think that the woman who becomes his mistress, when he doesn't think that she loves him, and then he tells her that, and he's like, he just breaks, and it wasn't like an actor trying to cry. It was just came from his feeling, and then I thought, wow, what a powerful instrument, that he could he's so responsive, and those big eyes. He's got those big.
Yeah, he's got great eyes.
Beautiful eyes,
great eyes.
Camera. And so did the mistress, female.
Huge eyes. Mary Angela Mulatto. I like.
And what a way to say so much, to use satire and drama.
So like much more entertaining.
So entertaining, yet at the same time, be saying so much about the government, the police, the mafia, society, the divide between the society.
I agree with you.
North of Italy. It was very much of its time because a lot of that was going on. How these people are, like these guys don't know how to think for themselves. And then when you don't know how to think for yourself, you are just trying to survive. You are just looking in, right?
You're right.
I mean, when have you seen, I don't even know if you'd call it a sex scene, but when he has sex with the soldier's wife.
Oh, buddy. Watching her disrobe.
Oh God! Of course, she's a very large woman, and just
his face.
That shot where she's crawling on her knees and it's just her ass at the back, and in his face, he's like, he has to go through with it.
He's gonna do it, and this is part of the point of the film too. Like you will do whatever he doesn't even want to do it, but it's to prove a point. And to who? to a woman you've been cheating on. Like,
I know, like what a hypocrite. What a
such a
hypocrite.
hypocrite.
But that's also a very, that was also, I don't know if this I don't know if that was purely what Italians were like, because they're, being Catholic, are very against divorce, right?
Oh
So it's
yeah.
like any way to not divorce, and they're destroying themselves more and more and more by just getting revenge on each other. And I love how he gets her in on it. Like, well, you know what?
Oh yeah, he does.
Your husband got my wife pregnant, and then she's like,
Right.
you know what? Okay, we're gonna meet they don't just sleep together once. Every time she's ovulating, they meet to try to get her pregnant.
They gotta get her pregnant for revenge. That's a
Yeah,
revenge baby. That's a
yeah.
revenge baby.
So there's another comment on society, like, well, just
Yeah,
baby Jesus over
yeah,
your stupid pride and
yeah. Your
obligation.
masculinity, man. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you can find this on Canopy, YouTube, and Prime.
Well, thanks for picking this one. I'm really glad that I saw it, and I'm definitely going to watch more of Lina Wertmuller's films. And I encourage everyone else to definitely at least check this one out on Canopy or the other streaming services that Steve mentioned. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to our channel and becoming an alien and coming and having coffee with us by clicking on the Coffee with Aliens logo on my top right, floating above my head here. Click on that. That will give you instant subscription. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.